Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I hope everybody's having a good day today. So, to start off today, I was going to check on No Man's Sky and see if that last optional uh, what is the word for it? Milestone. Yeah, that. I was going to check and see what the progress is on that, since that one's based on community progress. And I've checked it a couple times over the weekend. I actually checked it kind of early this morning, and it was at 90, I want to say 97. So whether it'll be complete by now or not, I don't know. We'll see. If it is, I'll finish this out right quick, because really all I got to do is go in the menu, click on everything, because everything's already finished except for that. Get my rewards, and then once that's done, I'll jump over to Farming Simulator. Oh, yep, it's obviously completed, because there it is. Alright, so let's go into Expedition here, and yep, that's completed. So let's check everything else. Phase 2, Phase 1. Alright, so let's collect that one. Gives us some more suit upgrades. Not that I really need them now. We'll collect our reward for completing Phase 5. And we'll go to the final. Just double check that everything here says complete. And now we'll complete that. And look at this. For completing the whole thing, we got a really cool ship. This looks like some new ship components, some new design stuff. This doesn't look like any of the regular stuff. So we'll just claim it. So there we go, expedition complete. Congratulations, traveler, all expedition goals complete. Your save will now convert to a standard save if you wish to continue. Earned rewards can be collected on any save via the Quicksilver Synthesis Companion on the Space Anomaly. Be sure to check back for the start of new expeditions soon. And for me, that's kind of the most important thing, is that now all the rewards that we're able to get from this are now available, and for some reason I can't look around. Okay. And I can't do anything except move my cursor around. Okay. So the game is apparently frozen. Oh, okay. So let's close it out there, and just to check and make sure that registered, since it did freeze up there, I want to go into one of the other saves and just check that everything's available at the Quicksilver thing on the anomaly. So let's go. I'll go to my legacy save. I'm gonna try it there, and if everything's good to go, then I'll close this out when we get on to Farming Simulator, because it's been a while since I've played Farming Simulator. But we'll let this get loaded up here. Which I'm actually in a different galaxy. I'm not in the Euclid galaxy anymore on this save. Because I traveled to the center of the Euclid galaxy and that transported me into another galaxy. Yeah. So let's call up the anomaly here. Sorry if I'm being a little quiet. I'm kind of fighting a headache right now. Which, by the way, I've gotten another game that I will probably stream at some point, but very, very steep learning curve. As a matter of fact, I heard somebody in a tutorial video I was watching for the game call it a learning cliff. Expedition 12 Omega Expedition D alongside the community. So see, I could start it from here using this, but I think if you do, you don't start with any of the stuff you already have, but I'm not sure. I've not tried. But we should be able to get everything from here. Expedition rewards. So yeah, we've got all, and yes, there's the ship right there. So everything is available. There's the Atlas Flight Pack, the Scepter, the Head Shield, the posters, all the stuff. So, okay. So, yeah. And actually, there's no need to save. So, quit to desktop. Okay. So now, I'm a Farming Simulator fired up, and I got to change my stream info as well. Okay. So there we go. And yeah, it's been a while since I've played this, and I have no idea what I was doing. Should be able to figure it out, though. But anyway, what I was talking about the other game, I do plan on streaming it eventually, but there's a lot to learn, and I kind of want to at least get a basic handle on a lot of the stuff before I start streaming it. But it's Space Engineers is the game. Which actually now I just now remembered that the last time I played this game it crashed and crashed my entire stream. Because somehow when the game crashed it also caused OBS to crash. But we'll try it if it, and I see it is every little bit it's kind of pausing or something. But we'll try it here if it, if it crashes, then I'll just swap to something else. Which I'm not sure why. I don't remember there being an update to it before it started crashing, so I don't know. Don't know what the program is or was. Getting lined up here. I'll go ahead and spray this field, and I should probably refill the sprayer. Which for some reason the game sounds really freaking quiet to me. And I do have the game unmuted, so I don't know if y'all can hear it. Which, I do have my headphones turned down a little bit, so maybe that's it. Because I tend to keep my headphones on the lower side because, you know, sometimes, like particularly like with me, you know, when I'm working on VODs and doing a lot of other stuff, you know, some of it related to streaming, some of it not, and all that, I'm oftentimes, you know, watching other streamers, or I'm watching YouTube videos or something while I'm doing other stuff. And I'm sure, as y'all probably well know, sometimes there's quite large volume discrepancies between, you know, different streams and different videos and stuff. So to keep from, because I'm a little bit sensitive to loud sounds. So I try to keep my volume on my headphones a little bit low, just so when I come across a stream or a video that's a bit on the loud side, it doesn't, you know, blast my eardrums out. But then sometimes other stuff can be hard to hear when it's that way. So, and I hate adjusting the volume because the freaking button, of course, you know, is already has a little bit of a short in it, so sometimes it'll cut out and only play on one side of the headphones, and I have to just kind of touch the volume button to make it come back in, because, you know, as I've often said, for some reason, even in 2024, nobody can make a volume button anymore that doesn't short out, you know, 3 months after you buy whatever it is with the volume button on it. And how we went from, you know, making products that could last a personal lifetime to, well, I know how it happened, or I know why it happened, but because companies don't want anything to last so they can sell you more products. So they design shit to break. But, you know, whatever. You either have to buy the junk or do without. And the companies know that, so they take advantage of that. And I think I missed a little bit there, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Probably, yeah, I should have plenty enough to do this field and that field, and then I might refill again before doing that big old field over there. which next month will be my 1 year anniversary of me starting streaming, and will also be my birthday. Shit, hold on 1 minute. I will be right back. Oh, sorry about that. I'm back. Alright. Let's see, I got 64% left. I don't even remember what the hell it was I planted here. So all I gotta do is go into the menu and look and see. I don't reckon it matters. All I gotta do is wait on it to be ready to harvest anyway. I'm sure it was something I was gonna use to feed the critters. Got a little bit too much overlap maybe on that one, but you'll be fine. Because I'm not sure about this version of the game, but in previous versions, I'm almost positive that, if, like, say I'm spraying here, if I was to go with half of the sprayer overhanging a section I've already sprayed, then technically it wouldn't count as spraying that part, so it's not exactly wasting material. But I don't know if it's the same in FS22 as it was in the other ones or not, but I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. And should be able to get the rest done in one pass, maybe. Oh no, that's awful wide pass. I'll get as much of it as I can. It leaves a little narrow strip. I'm not gonna worry about it. Because I think it is gonna leave just a little bit here and there. It wasn't exactly going straight. But back to what I was saying about next month being my anniversary and my birthday, I was thinking about, something I might could do that might be a little special for those days, but I haven't really came up with any solid ideas as of yet. And it's actually going to be a kind of a milestone birthday for me. But I saw the game hesitating there. It'll actually be my 50th birthday. It's still kind of hard for me to believe that I'm that old now. Even though a lot of days physically I feel like I'm a lot older than that. But yeah. Which I need to check and see what days both of those fall on. To see if they fall on one of my normal streaming days or if it's on one of my normally off days. Which even if they fall on one of my off days, I'm still going to try to stream as long as technology cooperates with me, mainly the internet. Which I guess really this field ain't very much wider than these other ones. Because it looks like 3 passes. I'm getting a little off of the edge here. Looks like 3 passes would probably do it. It's just longer than the other ones. Which is kind of weird because the ambient sounds like the crickets and the bird sounds and stuff all sound normal, but for some reason the tractor itself, I can barely hear it. I can hear it fine there. I don't know. Yeah, it might actually take a little more than 3 passes. It looks like it's going to be about 3.5. which, believe it or not, I'm actually drinking water right now. But I also have tea made, which I'll get to when I'm done with this water. And that does it for spraying for weeds. And let me check and see. I don't remember if everything was good on being fertilized or not. Nope, I still need which I forgot to roll everything. I still need another dose of fertilizer on everything except 53. Okay. So I'm going to unload the sprayer. Unload. I think this tank over here was fertilizer. Yeah. I'll refill from this tank first. And I'll top off from the silo. And I may as well go ahead and do the fertilizing now while I'm at it. So I don't really see any point in waiting. I'm just going to do both of these fields at the same time. And you know, I still haven't gotten around to finishing cutting up that tree to make my mushroom logs. Because the few days I've had free time to do it, the weather's been too shitty. It's been raining or windy, or it was still just too wet from it raining, so still hadn't gotten around to it. I'll get to it though. And I mean, you gotta let the logs lay for 3 months according to, you know, the recommendations of the makers of the mushroom plugs. And I don't reckon it matters whether it's cut up before they lay for 3 months or after. I'm probably a little easier to cut before it dries out too much, but it'll be fine either way. It's getting this done now. All I'll have to do is skip time until it's ready to harvest. So yeah, I guess now that the Omega Community Expedition is done, I'll pretty much get back to my regular schedule. And then at some point I'll figure out how to work in space engineers. But like I say, that might be a while because I kind of want to figure some things out first as far as the gameplay and how all that works. You know, something I should probably do is see if I've got an extra little notepad or notebook or something around here, and just something to kind of keep track of streaming ideas and stuff, because I want to try some new stuff this year, and not just necessarily streaming on Twitch, but kind of like to do something more with the Discord. Like maybe have some game nights in there or something like that. Because I know some other VTubers and stuff that have movie nights, and sometimes they'll have basically voice chat fan meetup kind of thing. I don't know exactly what you'd call it. Some of them have game nights where they stuff like that, so kind of want to do some of that. And I'm thinking about maybe kind of testing the waters on maybe streaming on some other platforms as well. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why, but it seems like I've been kind of plagued with headaches since January. Which I used to get them a lot more regular before I got my blood pressure under control. But since I got on the right medicine to keep my blood pressure running normal, I really haven't had that much problem with it. Of course, I have gotten migraines in the past, so I don't know, could have something to do with that, who knows. Hopefully I got enough to finish this other field over here, because the field 53 don't need it, which is the one over there. So when I'm done with this field here, I'm done with the fertilizing. Go ahead and see how far it goes. Yeah, it's gonna be like a pass and a half. 39% should be enough to do it, hopefully. If not, I may just say if I can let it go. Get whatever's, however much of it is covered when I run out. Actually, this one's more like 4 full passes rather than 3.5. Yeah, we should have enough. Because that pass just only took like 8%. I'll even have some left over. So I'll just do the same and unload this over here. Put everything away, and now it's just a matter of waiting until harvest time. Let's see, it emptied it on the right hand side, I think. So turn this way. Yep. I'm not going to worry about doing maintenance on this thing. I got 5,300 left. As far as cash goes. Alright, so I'm going to hit this, then I'm going to run, take an outhouse break right quick, and hopefully I'll be ready to skip another day when I get back. So I'll be right back. Alright. So that's one day skipped. Be ready to skip another one now. I don't remember when whatever it is that I've got planted is supposed to be ready to harvest, but don't matter. We just keep skipping days till I see some brown in the fields or something. Which, another thing I want to do sometime soon is maybe start reaching out to see if I can find some other people, maybe do some collabs with. Only problem I have doing collabs is I use a little bit different software than most people use for my model and stuff, so don't know how, not sure how that might work. Because, yeah, there's still a lot about streaming and VTubing that I don't know yet, even though I've been at it for a while. Oh, I see some weeds that I missed. That's okay. Which kind of funny because one of the reasons why I got uh, that game is because a buddy of mine wants me to play it with him, and when I was looking at that, I looked to see how many hours I had into Medieval Dynasty so far, and I'm kind of embarrassed to see how many hours. It's a lot. But it is such a good game. I know I've been enjoying playing it. And we're into April 2nd now. Sooner or later, this stuff's got to be ready to harvest. Whatever it is. Let's see, what even is it? Barley, it looks like. Okay. It looks like the only other stuff I've got as far as feeding the pigs is corn and sugar beets, and I don't really have a whole lot of corn. It comes to how much the porkers are going to be eating. And also need, I think it was either canola, sunflowers, or soybeans was the other category, I think. I can look and see all that when I get done harvesting this. Oh, it's finally growed a spurt. Always have to wait like a second or two after going through one of these cycles before I can start the next one. So I guess it's going to be June maybe when this stuff's ready. I don't know. Maybe July. Aha! Looks like it's ready to harvest now. Let's check growth. Yep, it's all ready to harvest. So I'll grab the harvester. Get out of the way, dear. Swap the headers out here. Let's see, I've got straw swath enabled, so I guess I better do up and down instead of circles, because may as well go ahead and get the straw out of this. It's disabled. I thought it was already enabled. I just looked at it wrong. I'm gonna try to keep the straw within the field, but sometimes these harvesters have a habit of spitting out just a small amount randomly anyway. Like so. Of course, none of it's showing up on the ground, so it must not have been very much for it not to even register. I decided I was going to start trying to stay on a regular sleep schedule, even though I do have problems sometimes with just not being able to sleep. So I've been setting my alarm clock, but so far I've been waking up well before my alarm clock would even go off. Just have to see how it goes. It may or may not work. Pipe out. Now I'll have to jump into the grain truck here. But yeah, this is why I always turn crop destruction off. Damn camera collisions. That's one field down. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to go. So yeah, since the Omega community expedition's done, I guess tomorrow I'll do Snow Runner, and Wednesday we'll do 7 days, and Thursday we'll do Medieval Dynasty. Fence is awful damn close. So I don't remember what I had planned as far as upgrading equipment or whatever next, but I'm thinking maybe I should do the harvester next. And I know for that I'm gonna need a lot of money. Because it ain't just about the cost of the harvester, it's about the cost of the headers as well. And they can be really expensive too. Man, I wish this headache could go away. Yeah, I know I didn't look both ways, but that's okay. Traffic can stop. Or they might just plow right into me. Knowing the AI traffic in this game. It's something I kind of want to do when the current community expedition in No Man's Sky is over. I want to jump in and see if that new kiosk that's on the anomaly, whether it will offer over community expeditions, but I don't know. I don't think it will. Not yet. Maybe in the future they'll make it do that. I hope so. This might be enough to fill us up here. I think this truck holds just slightly less than 3 hoppers full from this harvester, if I remember right. Only 98%. I'm gonna unload it anyway. And just before stream, I was getting a little too hot, which I did eat a bowl of soup, so. But now I'm starting to get a little cool. Turn my fan off. I'll do that in a second. I'll wait till my hopper's full again and I'll do it. Yeah, sorry I'm being so quiet. It's just dealing with this headache. You know, sometimes it can be hard to think of something to talk about too. But it's kind of funny because when I was a little kid, I actually Had the nickname from some people of Motor Mouth because I used to talk so much. But the older I've gotten, the more stoic and quiet I've gotten. Which makes it even funnier that I decided to start streaming, because RL would never suspect me to do something like streaming. Yet here I am. Of course, I'm not saying I'm good at it, but alright, well, let's go on. Turn this fan off right quick. Oh. Get a little stretching in while I'm doing it too. Already getting a little bit stiff. Here you go, pigs. I'll let y'all smell it, but you can't have none of it. Not yet, anyway. That was super tight up against that pole wire. I was thinking that somewhere I wrote down like how much I was getting out of as far as the yield I was getting from all these fields before I bought that other field. But where the hell I wrote it down at, I couldn't tell you. I'm sure it's probably in this notepad I got laying here somewhere, but if I could find it. That's a big if. I'm not sure I'd recognize it even if I saw it. But in the end, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm going to get what I get out of it regardless. And I know it's going to be more than I got previously. I'm just kind of curious as to how much more. But it doesn't really matter because I'll get what I get out of it either way. Me knowing what the difference in yield is ain't going to make a bit of difference as to what the yield is. It'll be the same whether I know or not. It's kind of funny because what I took a little while before stream for my headache is usually about the only thing that'll work for a headache, but the last few times I've taken it, it doesn't seem to be working. Tell you what though, having those static income generators, the solar panel and the wind generator, are really helping out a lot. To fudge it around this tree a little bit here. It's right in my damn way. Take a chainsaw with that sumbitch. It's funny. Over the weekend, I watched a video on YouTube. It was a young British guy, and he was reacting to a video about Generation X, of which I'm a part of, and kind of crazy shit that most Gen X kids did. And it was kind of funny to see his reaction, because to him everything seemed like it was just completely insane. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking normal to me. And yeah, it's funny because a lot of younger people were like, how did Generation X even survive? We just did. And it is a kind of crazy because a lot of the things that Gen X kids did, if kids did that these days and their parents let them get away with it, or their parents didn't stop them, the parents would probably be fucking arrested, or at least have the kids taken away from them. Which, to me, that's the crazy part. And, one of the things about it is for Gen X kids that lived out in the country, it was even more quote unquote crazy, according to younger people, because, we did stuff like, driving tractors, driving farm trucks. I mean, not out on public highways, of course, but on the farm. Now, the tractor they might drive out on the road because technically, it probably varies by state, but as far as I know, technically you don't need a license if you're driving a tractor on the road. Because typically you're just basically transporting the tractor from one place to another, so. But yeah, I found it kind of funny that he thought it was just so crazy at some of the shit that Gen X kids did. And then actually I watched another video of a Gen X guy reacting to that video. And he was kind of laughing. And yeah. That shit's all true. That's the crazy shit we did. But of course to us it wasn't crazy. It was normal. And of course I won't go into all of that stuff because I'm not sure, you know, how much of that stuff, if I talked about it, would be against TOS or anything, so I'll just refrain. But if you're really curious about it, you can always, there's plenty of videos out there that talk about the crazy shit Gen X got into. But yeah, I guess we were just built different, as the saying goes. That tree might be far enough away to get by. No, maybe not. A little bit crooked there, but that's alright. Don't matter as long as I get it all harvested. And I kinda, at least when I'm putting down the straw, try to keep it at least relatively straight. This makes it a little easier when I'm picking up the straw, but even then it don't really matter. But yeah, talking about Gen X, I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody from Gen X who would prefer to grow up now rather than during the time that they did, even though it's supposedly safer now. Because we were free and we had fun. And I've always been kind of a free-spirited person and wasn't too crazy about people telling me what to do. I mean, I understand that sometimes it's necessary that, somebody tells you what to do. In certain situations, like if you're doing something that could be dangerous and you're not familiar with what you're doing, and somebody that is familiar with what you're doing is telling you what to do and the best way to do it. Or, in a job situation where your boss is telling you, what to do for the job. I understand it. And, I've always tried to respect it, even though sometimes I didn't like it. Of course, usually it was more that maybe I didn't like the person that was doing it. Because there have been times in the past when I've had jobs where the boss was a real fucking asshole. And really didn't have no business being in any kind of managerial position. But somehow they ended up there. But I've also had good bosses. And I've had some that I got along really well with. And I've even had a few that I would even consider friends. At least at the time. Probably haven't seen them or heard anything about them in years, but, at the time. But yeah, I've always just kind of preferred to do my own thing in my own way. But yeah, I've always just, kind of been a firm believer in everybody should just have a right to live however they want to, as long as they're not hurting anybody else. That's a little spot outside the field, but it don't matter. I'm gonna have to pull forward because that tree's in the damn way. It's a bad spot for the hopper to get full, but oh well. It is what it is. I even know I eat a can of soup maybe a 30 or 40 minutes before stream. I'm already hungry again, which soup usually, unless it's some kind of, real hearty soup, something like a barley and beef soup or a vegetable or beef stew or something like that. It usually doesn't fill me up, at least not for long. Of course, I also had a couple pieces of sausage and a couple of eggs over easy this morning for breakfast, but hell, that was about 8:30 or so this morning, I think. which kind of along the lines of the whole Gen X thing. As I was watching another VTuber yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, it was yesterday. And she was talking about how it was kind of crazy to her that people would leave their doors unlocked. But, you know, living out in the country, that was pretty common for me growing up, was people left their doors unlocked. And for the most part, nobody had any problems. Which, you know, if you're living in a small town, everybody knows everybody. There's very little crime. Most of the time, what crime there is, you know, petty shit. And probably 9 times out of 10, it's either going to be somebody drunk in public doing something stupid, making a scene, enough so that, you know, the cops had to get involved and be like, all right, you know, either go home and sleep it off, or you'll sleep it off in a jail cell for the night, or, you know, some kind of domestic thing, or maybe a couple gets to arguing and get a little too rowdy or something. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you don't really. There really wasn't much. I mean, yeah, there was a few things that I remember happening that were a little bigger than that, but that was something that was very rare. And, you know, the fact that everybody knew everybody was a good deterrent to, you know, somebody breaking into your house or something. Because chances are, if you broke into somebody's house, they would figure out who did it, because everybody knows everybody. And even back then, you know, a lot of the cops even, you know, knew most of the people, so. And they kind of knew, you know, who would be the most likely to do certain things, you know, so. Because when I was younger, I probably knew half, if not more, of the sheriff's deputies. And of course, living out in the country, that was the only cops we had out in the country. There were no town cops. I mean, yeah, there were state cops, but hell, you hardly ever saw them. You might see one on the interstate, but that was about it. And even then, they were mostly doing traffic stops. But which, of course, they used to have, at least where I live, they would have traffic checks like once or twice a year. But mainly they were just, you know, checking that everybody had their, you know, registration and license and everything up to date. And then later on, when they started cracking down more on drunk driving and stuff, a lot of times they would have sobriety checkpoints now and then, but even those were kind of rare. But yeah, I knew growing up, and even up into my 20s, maybe even into my early 30s, I knew probably half of the dude. Hell, I was probably kin to some of them. Matter of fact, I know I was kin to, I think at least 2 of them. Not real close kin, but as a matter of fact, I've got a cousin who was from the same generation as my parents that was actually sheriff at one point in time. Of course, that was long before my time, but he'd already retired from the sheriff's department long before I came along. But yeah, I mean, you didn't really have to worry too much about that, but it's kind of funny. Which I get it, because, you know, when I was watching this other streamer, she did mention that, you know, the area she grew up in I guess would, don't remember exactly how she described it, but I'm guessing it would have been like a little bit more of an urban setting, and so yeah, because even back then people in cities, yeah, they kept their fucking doors locked, because but yeah, out in the country, hell, people left their doors unlocked, because like I say, everybody knew everybody, and if somebody did come into your house, which another thing out in the country, even if somebody's doors was unlocked, if you walked into their house at night and they was asleep, there's a good chance you wouldn't walk back out. So that was a good deterrent as well. But yeah, unfortunately, even now, a lot of people out in the country keep their doors locked these days. And I do as well. Which I guess these days a lot of people have those Ring cameras too, so I've thought about maybe getting one of those. Because I can see where they could be quite useful. Which, as far as having, you know, the security cameras inside the house like a lot of people do, no. Because from my understanding, them things are too easy to hack into. And, you know, because I've seen the videos where people have hacked into people's interior cameras and spied on them and all kind of stuff. But yeah, I could definitely see where having one of those doorbells with the camera on it would be quite handy. But yeah, I don't think I'd ever really want to live in any kind of big city. Even a smaller city, I don't think I'd want to live in. I like living out in the country. I mean, yeah, it has its drawbacks, but I think I would prefer the drawbacks of the country to the drawbacks of the city. Because no matter where you live, there's going to be pros and cons. But at least to me, the cons of living out in the country are a little easier to deal with. Because it's more stuff like, yeah, maybe there ain't a lot to do. You know, as far as entertainment or whatever. And yeah, you might drive further to get to a store or whatever, which actually used to not be the case. Because growing up, I could probably name more than half a dozen stores within a 5-mile radius. But now all of those stores are gone. But yeah, you might have to drive a little further to get someplace. You know, by the same token, it might take a little longer to get emergency services. But honestly, I don't think that's really a rural thing, because from a lot of what I've heard, it ain't exactly quick to get emergency services, and even in a city either, because but you know, even though it might be a little worse these days than it used to be, it's still, you know, low crime. Usually there's less pollution to deal with. So, you know. But, you know, to each their own. That's just my preferences. I'm gonna have to go unload again. Hopefully this will be enough barley to do me for a while. But if not, I'll just have to deal with it. But actually, to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't mind living in an even more kind of rural setting than I live now. Like living on my own farm. But that ain't possible. At least not for now. You never know what the future might hold. I guess I kinda live by the old saying, hope for the best but prepare for the worst. But on the other hand, I'm also very familiar with the saying, wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. Of course, it's a little bit different, wishing and hoping. A little bit of difference there. I see that little streak I missed over there. Too early to start that yawning shit. Which I can tell you, regardless of how I do personally as a VTuber. I'm kind of excited to see where it's going as it goes along, because it seems like it just continues to gain popularity. And as it does, it seems that more and more people are kind of wanting to develop technologies and softwares and things like that for it. So that's kind of interesting to see how that develops. Because as I've said before I decided to become a VTuber, I was already a fan of VTubing, so I still am. Damn, last time I unloaded the truck, I meant to look and see if it showed me how much was in the silo. I don't think it shows you how much is in the silo when you're unloading into it. I meant to look and forgot to. I can always just go into the menu and look, but because I was just kind of interested to see how much is in there already. But it don't really matter, because I was going to check it when I'm done anyway. And I noticed it lagged just a little bit right there. God damn it. Now I'm gonna have a fucking yawning fit, it seems like. There's these damn headphones again. Which I've got another headset and it has a jack built into the headset, so I can just get a cord that's got the 3x5 jacks on each end and use that other headset. But the only cord I've got for it now has a volume control built into the cord, and those are shitty as well because they always shorten out and cutting out either on one side or all together. And as I remember years ago, I had a set of headphones that were really nice headphones, had really great sound to them, but it had one of those damn volume controls in the cord itself, and of course the fucking sorry ass thing shorted out, and it would kill the sound all the time. You'd have to fiddle fucking around with it, and it finally got to where no matter what you did, you just couldn't get sound on it because that piece of shit volume control. So I tried to cut that out and then just wire it back together, but even doing that, I never could get sound to come back to them. So I don't know what happened. I ended up throwing them away. It sucked, and it doesn't make sense to me why they wouldn't work, because wiring it straight together like that to bypass the volume control, they should have worked. There's absolutely no reason why they wouldn't work. But for some reason they never did work again. Which I'm not really a fan of the 3.5mm jacks either, because they tend to fuck up very shortly after they're new. And you have to either kind of twist, they'll start to cut in and out. You have to kind of either twist them a little bit or jiggle them a little bit to get them to get good connection. How the fuck? I don't know why we can't have something better, much more reliable in 2024. It makes no fucking sense to me at all. And honestly, I think we've already got better ways of doing it, but just nobody's willing to incorporate it because I guess it would cost them money, and they don't want to do that. They'd rather just sell you a piece of shit that you got to replace in 2 or 3 months. Which I know a lot of times, and I've even done this, been guilty of this myself, but you kind of blame You know, when shit like that's, you know, something's fucked up, you kind of blame like the CEO or whoever owns or is the head honcho of whatever company. But, and I think in some cases that's true, that it is, you know, the blame does fall on that person. But I think another problem is publicly traded companies. Because I think sometimes if you have a company, the owner or CEO might have, you know, certain intentions of maybe making a quality product for a reasonable price or whatever it is they want to do. But then they start selling shares to raise capital, and then all of a sudden the company becomes beholden to the shareholders. So it's not necessarily any longer about what the company owner or CEO or whatever wants. It's what the fucking shareholders want. And they want their shares to go up. So and you know, just the way things are regulated, the shareholders a lot of times can even get rid of the owner or the CEO, and it's happened. There's been a couple good examples of that over the last couple of years that I've seen. Not personally, but you know, in the news and stuff, I've seen it. But yeah, sometimes I just can't understand why, you know, certain things that you would think should be much better by now are not any better, and in some cases are worse than they used to be. And it doesn't make sense to me. And sometimes it can be frustrating. Oh, I guess I should go unload. So I'm going to try to remember this time to look and see if it does indeed show you how much is in the silo when you're unloading, but I don't think it does. But at least this time I'll remember to look and see whether it does or not. Because I don't know for sure. I don't reckon it matters whether it does or not. Yeah, it don't show shit. So like I say, it don't really matter because I'm going to look and see how much is in there at the end anyway. Even though I'm not going to bother even trying to look for where I wrote down before how much I got before getting fuel. Was it 51 over there? Actually, before I get going on this, I'm going to take another quick outhouse break, and I will be right back. How's it back? Kinda cheated on my dad a little bit earlier. Somebody gave me some cereal bars, and of course those things have got too much sugar in them. It's not as, when I looked at the label, it didn't seem as bad as initially I thought it would be. I think this particular one is like 17 grams of carbs. Of course, there's absolutely no fiber in it. I didn't look at the protein, but there's probably not much, if any, in it. But yeah, they just look so good. I just had to have one. Damn it, tree right in the frickin' way. One of these years I'll cut these trees down and get them out of the way. But I can get this wide spot here Now, go to the final field. Field 51. Uh-oh. Is my internet messing up? According to OBS, it's fine. According to Twitch, it's not. I don't know, Twitch has been a little weird for the last couple of weeks. As I've noticed quite a few times, particularly last week, when I would first go live, I would have Twitch up before I went live on OBS, and I would have to hit the tab refresh button on Twitch for the stream to actually show up on there after I went live on OBS. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, I've also noticed over the last 2 or 3 weeks that sometimes, even though OBS is telling me my internet's fine, Twitch has said no, it ain't. I don't know. I don't know, maybe Twitch updated something that's being a little fucky-wucky or what's going on. Like it's saying it's fine. Oh shit. Back it up. I'm gonna have to train myself to when a camera collision happens to just close my eyes for a second so it don't fuck with me like it normally does. But what I was getting ready to say is I'm a little curious to see if I'll get a full truckload out of this field or not. Because just looking at the field, it looks like there's a possibility of getting a full truckload. But that may or may not be the case. But we'll see when it's all said and done. So, because like I say, I'm just curious. It's not like too worried about it. Back up too far here in case that train comes barreling through there. I'd hate to knock me halfway across a map or something, which I know it won't actually do that, but rather avoid a collision with a train if I can. This harvester is getting filthy. It's been putting in the work, so. Man, it would be filthy. I always thought it would be cool to be a train conductor. Do they still call them conductors? I don't reckon it really matters. I always thought that'd be a interesting job. Of course, I'd rather do a cargo train. I wouldn't want to do a passenger train. I wouldn't really want to be responsible for that many people. I think it would be interesting, mainly because you would get to see parts of the country that you normally wouldn't see by car or anything. Because even though some tracks do parallel some roads, it's not always the case. Sometimes they very often go, off into the areas where roads don't go. So I think it'd just be interesting to see. I think my head has finally stopped hurting, although it still don't feel quite right. Hate to see what the maintenance cost is going to be on this thing when we're done. Probably going to be expensive. Crooked again. It's fine though. Long as I ain't driving around to feel like a drunk with a blindfold on. Just heard the train go behind me. Just thinking about trains, I found a really good remix of Alan Jackson's song on YouTube. It's called a Jake something or other remix, I think. I might, if I remember to, I might post a link to it on Twitter later. Shit. which I heard it initially, because sometimes I watch compilation videos on YouTube of like quote-unquote redneck TikToks, and that's where I first heard it at. Yeah, so if I remember to, after stream, I'll post a link on Twitter. Another video I watched was a video talking about the top. It was actually two videos. It was two parts, and it was if you put the two of them together, I guess it would have been the top 20 trucker movies. And there were some good ones in there, like Smokey and the Bandit, Highballing, Convoy. A lot of the ones you typically think of when you think of trucking movies. There's a couple questionable choices on there too. Oops. So we're about halfway done with this field. I guess when I'm done, I'll go get the maintenance done on the harvester and the header both, and then give this filthy pig a bath. Ugh. Which I have considered getting a train simulator. It looked like maybe the best one might have been, I think it was Train Sim World. One thing is, there's a shit ton of DLC for it. Looks like it could get really expensive. No. You know, I've got a minuscule gaming budget, and I guess actually by now it's probably gone. So it could be a while before I get any more games. Although I think I've got a pretty decent repertoire by now. I just happened to think, you know, it's been a pretty good while since I've done any solo phasmophobia. Maybe depending on how I feel tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a little solo phasmophobia for the first little bit and then get on SnowRunner. Damn it, I wish I could quit yawning. You ever yawn so hard that it felt like you tore a muscle in your face or something? I've done that before. I didn't actually injure myself doing it, but I've done it before where it kind of felt like I did. Yeah, it looks like my line's gotten quite crooked through this field, but oh well. It's not horribly bad. I've never been all that great at keeping a perfectly straight line in this game anyway. Which I guess it don't really matter as long as you get the job done. damn it. The yawns just keep coming. Which I actually am getting a little bit sleepy. I mean, I slept somewhat decently last night, but I did wake up a couple times. It's kind of screws with how restful a sleep you get. And I remember waking up a few times. And then I was up a bit before 8, I believe. Which I don't think my internal clock is fully adjusted from a few days ago when I had insomnia so bad. And here's another question for you. Have you ever yawned so much that it made your eyes water? Because I have. In fact, they watered a bit now. Which, as I've said before, my eyes tend to water a bit easy. So I think I told the story about when my cousin first got her contacts. We were both at my grandma's house one time, and I watched her put her contacts in. And my eyes watered more than hers did. And of course, you know, she hadn't had them long, so she wasn't really good at putting them in either. So it took her a little bit, and she had to keep touching her eye and stuff. And I was just like, ugh, can't stand it. I don't even like a slight breeze blowing directly into my eyes. It bothers me. And that actually could be genetic. Because I remember when I was young, I'm hearing somebody call my dad water eye one time. Might have been more than once, but. And I got my eyes from him. Which technically his eyes were a little bit more gray and a little less blue, where mine are a bit more blue and less gray. But Mom's eyes were brown, so, which would indicate that she has a recessive gene, because if I remember right, blue eyes is a recessive trait. And for it to manifest, you have to get that recessive gene, one from each parent. So, I think on her side of the family, the ancestors are mostly Irish. But there's some Native American in there as well. I think in particular Cherokee. What I remember. shit, I almost dozed off there for a second. But that's why I've been wanting to get my sleep straightened out so I don't end up getting drowsy while I'm trying to stream. So I hate when that happens. Maybe 3 more passes will be done. And I gotta start getting up the hay. And I got that loading wagon in the barn. And that multi-fruit silo I got holds straw, so I think I said hay just a few minutes ago, but it's technically it's straw, not hay. I remember when I was little, I didn't really know the difference between hay and straw until I played this game. Not FS22 specifically, but Farming Simulator generally. It was the first one I played, it was 2013. I remember in that game you started off with a chicken coop. Full of chickens, and you didn't have to feed them or nothing, you just go gather eggs. Of course, I remember seeing somewhere online, even in that game, if you mowed and dumped the grass clippings in the chicken coop, that it triggered them to lay more eggs. I don't know if that was true or not, because I don't remember ever trying it, but it's like I say, that game I never bought it. I played, but it was like a 2-week trial version of the PlayStation streaming thing, where you can pay so much every month and you can stream a whole bunch of games without having to download them. It was on the trial version of that, and I think it was 2 weeks long, and I mostly played FS13 during that time. But I never got the game because they came out with 2015. I don't know if it was before or after I did that trial. But that was the first one that I purchased and played. It was 15. And I've gotten every version of it since. Woohoo! Barely missed it, motherfucker. is that sugar cane? Hard to tell. I think it's corn. I know they, was 19, was it 17 or 19 the first one to have sugar cane? I think it was 19. I never did really mess with it too much. I mean, I did mess around with it a little bit early on just because it had different equipment and stuff, and I just wanted to try it and see, but yeah, it really wasn't profitable because you didn't get much out of the sugar cane at all. Sometimes sell it. I'm starting to wonder if I'm even making sense now. There was earlier I mentioned I watched that reaction to the Gen X video. There were some things in the Gen X video that existed back in my day, but I personally never did or got involved with, like mentioned yawn darts. I never had any of those. It mentioned slip and slide. I never had one of those. And there may have been one or two other things that I don't remember off the top of my head. Afraid I wouldn't be able to get it, all of it. A little bit too wide for this header, especially in that middle part where I went kind of crooked. So what I'll do though is I'll turn the straw swath off first so I can get it without messing up my straw rows. It'll only lay down just a minimal amount along that edge, kind of in the grass. I don't want to do that. So let's disable the straw swath. Just dash little snip now. I might actually get full before I can finish this little strip. Maybe not. If it does, it does though. Let's just do that now. Just a little tiny bit. Might as well go ahead and get it. Oh, I thought I screwed up there because I swapped vehicles before the pipe was all the way out, but it did finish going out. In previous versions of the game, if you swap vehicles while that pipe was swinging out, it would just stop wherever it was when you got out. And you'd have to re-trigger it to get it moving again. So now we'll finally get to see how much we got overall, because I'll check it after I dump this load off. I'm just going to leave that pipe out because I'll need it again here in a second. Yep, I'm all up in your field. Whoever owns that field. Oh, shit, wrong. But the dealership right over there. Who do the maintenance? Done, and I'll wash the thing and put it away, and then I'll grab the truck and go dump that load off and see what we ended up with. So that's the dealership right on y'all. That wouldn't straight across, but it wouldn't fall. It's really beautiful. It wasn't very far either. That's what I wanted to say. But my mouth was like, yeah, I'd rather just do gibberish right now. So. $147 and $15.81. That ain't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Put my flashers on. Oh, look out! Big son of a bitch coming through. Slow son of a bitch. And oddly enough, I am just now getting to my tea because I had that bottled water first, and then I had some coffee left over from this morning I was still drinking on. Just now finished that. I think I might have went just a little too light on the lemon this time. Still good though. I feel like it could have used just a little bit more lemon juice. Oh wait, oh, I feel it kind of kicking in there. Taste a little bit now. go in here and put some fuel in this thing over here. That's going to cost a pretty penny. $300. But it's all nice and topped off now. Rost cell mash. Rossel mash? Always had a little trouble trying to pronounce that. Probably still ain't doing it exactly right. Because usually I forget to pronounce that second S, so I end up saying Rostel Smash, or I move the S, yeah, Rostel Smash or Rostel Mash. Oh yeah. Gotta unload the last of the grain and see how much we finally ended up with. Let's see how much I got now. Wrong. 107,819 liters. I think it's quite a lot more than I had before. Not bad. Getting that field 51 has definitely helped with the yield, which I figured it would because it is a good size field. Gather up all this straw. I think I've got plenty of straw in the silo already, but I mean, I may as well go ahead and get it since it's available, because even if I end up not needing it or using it, I can always sell it. I may not get a lot out of it, but better than letting it go to waste anyway. Even though I'm thinking if you have the straw swath turned on, I think it does act as fertilizer if you let it spray. But I might be wrong on that. This thing actually holds quite a lot of straw. I wonder how much do I already have? 244. Not sure what the total capacity on this thing is. Might run out of room for the straw, which if I do, I'll just sell it. Like I said, I don't really need it for now. So it's only going for the pigs to be able to make the slurry. Actually, since I'm so drowsy, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it here for today. Plus, there was some stuff I kind of wanted to do. I've been wanting to make some deer jerky, but I need to get all my stuff together and make sure everything's cleaned up, like my dryer and my jerky gun, which is around here somewhere. I gotta find it. I know I stuck it somewhere, I just don't remember where. But it's all in one like Ziploc bag together, so just a matter of finding it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it for today. I was kind of hoping to stream a little bit longer, but yeah, having to fight it a little too hard right now. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to stream a lot more, maybe more days, more hours, because I do have fun doing this. But yeah, so hope y'all have a great rest of your day or evening or night or whatever. And take care, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.